This module will be talking about the Dual Select Proportioner, its setup and installation, along with helpful hints, charts, diagrams, manuals, and other essential facts. In Section 1, we'll be talking about the installation procedures, the tools required, and other helpful hints. Once the cover is removed, you'll notice the internal components. And you'll notice that each of the selector knobs has 4 inlets. And these are where the push-in metering tips are installed. Some other dispensers actually require screw-in tips, but the Hydro Dual Select unit uses push-in metering tips. Now we'll look at the individual selector knobs. On the bottle fill side, you'll notice you have 4 inlet ports. This particular one is set up so that ES74 spray and wipe is dispensing at 1 to 8 and uses the blue tip, and that's at the top left. Following along clockwise to the top right, you'll see it's ES256 set up to dispense at 1 to 256 using the light purple tip. Again, continuing clockwise, the lower right, we have set up for ES77 NFP glass cleaner at 1 to 20 utilizing the green tip. And again, further clockwise to the lower left, we have ES93 Plus set up at 1 to 8 utilizing the blue tip. On the bucket fill side, starting at the top left, we have ES84 neutral floor cleaner set up to dispense at 1 to 256 using the purple tip. Following clockwise to the top right, we have ES256 disinfectant cleaner set up to dispense at 1 to 256 using the purple tip. Again, continuing clockwise to the lower right, we have it set up for just plain water with no dilution required, and that needs the clear tip, which is a plugged tip. Continuing clockwise to the lower left, we have that set up for ES93 Plus encapsulation cleaner at 1 to 32, which requires the dark blue tip. When preparing for an installation, make sure you arrive highly organized and map out your installation strategy. Note, the products with the leanest dilution should be placed on the side of the rack closest to the dispenser and have the shortest length of tubing. The rack should be as close to the dispenser as possible, but never mount the rack above the dispenser. Siphoning may occur. And don't guess. A pro uses a measuring tape and a level. And use a stud finder for drywalls. That way you'll know a secure place to mount. And be sure to check where the holes are being drilled into the wall. You don't accidentally want to drill into water pipes or electrical lines. Always carry a hammer drill and extension cords. For multiple installations, consider making a cardboard or wooden template for the dispenser and the rack. Use the extra long screws and big washers on the chemical racks. Tap in plastic anchor inserts when mounting on tile walls or on wallboard walls. For cinder block and brick walls, consider Tapcon screws. They use a hex head and they allow you to put a great deal of pressure on the screw, and they hold very, very securely. Make sure you use the proper bit for ceramic tile walls. Notice, the head of the ceramic tile bit is shaped like an arrowhead. It's the one on the left. This will minimize the chance of costly tile cracks and chips. Use zip ties to tie wrap the hoses. This will minimize the chance of future leaks. It also is a sign of a professional installation. Always remember to peel off the foil safety seal from the container when installing the pickup tube. It will not work on the dispenser if the bottle still has the foil safety seal in place. And always attach the discharge hoses with the integrated flooding rings closest to the dispenser. It will help the dispenser reach the required vacuum pressure quicker and more efficiently. Then, hook up the water supply and test the system for flow and leaks. Be careful. Double check. Unusually low water pressure can affect the dilution rate, so adjustments may be necessary in that case. To test dilution rates in low water pressure situations, put the feed tube into a filled measuring bottle and dispense 1 gallon of solution into a small measuring bucket. This will allow you to verify the number of ounces per gallon that is being dispensed. Now we're going to cover the Dual Select Proportioner Instruction Manual and the tip charts. Critical note: always refer to the EnviroSolutions website for the most recent and updated information, including the newest tip charts, dilution rates, MSDS, cost calculations, catalogs, brochures, and so on. The Dual Select Proportioner Instruction Manual and Troubleshooting Guide. Page 1 covers ideas on what to wear for safety and ideas to always follow. The other thing that's on page 1 is the installation and operation instructions for the unit itself. Page 2 contains a tip chart along with a schematic of the internal components of the unit. Page 3 has a complete breakdown of each of the adductors and all the components for them. Page 4 includes a troubleshooting chart that gives you some ideas on places to start if you're having difficulty with your dispensing unit. All of these charts are included in the printable file folder on the website. In the next section, we'll cover the metering tip selection charts. On this page, you'll notice a breakdown of all the EnviroSolutions products, the recommended dilution rates, and the required metering tip depending on whether it is the bottle fill side at 1 gallon per minute or the bucket fill side at 4 gallons per minute. And page 2 continues the list of EnviroSolutions products and the proper tips to use. This sheet contains all the metering tips. It's a sheet from Hydro. It's helpful because it has pictures of the colors of each of the tips, which makes them easier to identify, and it also includes the part numbers in case you need to order more. This form, like the others, is available for download off the EnviroSolutions website at www.envirosolutions.com. This is a sheet from EnviroSolutions, which includes the products and their dilution rates to help you when you're trying to calculate which tips to use in order to set up a dispensing system. And this is the second page, which contains the rest of the EnviroSolutions products, along with recommended dilution rates, depending on the type of application it's to be used for. Again, available at envirosolutions.com. You should really consider the use of the worksheet and custom charts when putting together a dispenser installation. The worksheet's a very helpful tool. It helps you to identify which products are going to be located at which positions on the selector switches, and it allows you to identify the dilution rate that you desire and the tip that needs to be installed. It's a good idea to do these worksheets for each and every account and each location, and to keep them on file for future reference. In addition, wall charts are extremely useful. Here's a custom wall chart put together for 6 different products. Here's another unique wall chart. Any wall chart design is helpful to the end user. Next, we're going to go over the installation of a standard gallon jug on the dispensing system. And in this case, we're going to use the ES93 Plus. This page contains the instructions of how to install the ES93 Plus, or for that matter, any 1 gallon container. Most importantly, I want to point out number 5, which talks about making sure that you have a long enough tube that can reach from the dispenser all the way to the bottom of the jug. And the reason for that is because of point number 6. You're going to have to install the blue foot valve and on top of that put a white ceramic weight, and all that will then be fed through a white gallon jug cap that has had a hole drilled into it to accommodate the tubing. Page 2 talks about the installation of the rack itself, and more importantly, point 7 talks about how to go about drilling the hole in the 1 gallon jug cap in order to keep the system fully sealed and considered a closed loop system. Make sure that the tubing fits inside the cap very snug. Well, thank you for your attention, and remember, all of these forms are available on the Enviro Solutions website at www.enviro-solution.com. Thanks again.